Okay, welcome back to the channel. Um, we've had a little bit of a change around in this room, so this is as much as going to be done in the short term. Uh, when the summer comes around, I might paint one wall, particularly maybe this wall. I don't think I can do the whole lot. It's one of those typical things. Getting straight into it, but it's one of those typical things. This house we're in, every room, it's not just a lick of paint. Every room needs the light fitting moved to the centre of the room, and then the electrics need to be done because we're doing the electrics as we go. Um, Sockets need to go in, ceiling needs to be overboarded, walls need to be filled, prepped, stained, and blocked, and everything else just before you can even think about putting a colour on. So it's a bit soul destroying. So if anything's almost ready, it's staying like this. So this is fine. We'll go with the purple door frames, and we'll just put up with it. It's actually a nice shade of blue, I guess. You can learn to grow to love it. So you might have seen in the last update video that was like this. This was a wardrobe, and obviously that's gone. So I've put in, the person who helped knows that I didn't do very much. Helped. He helped. I helped. He did. So table's gone in, and this is a worktop type from IKEA rather than their usual benches. So it's 189 across. I would have loved to have got the full span of 200, but I couldn't quite make it fit with the door frame. So that means then here we've got a clear window, full daylight window. There's hardly any daylight out there at the minute because it's a storm blown in, but tons and tons of daylight with a daylight bulb above me, and then the max on a similar desk that side. So it's about as good a setup as I could ever hope for. I used to have the spray booth down in the utility. I mean, that was great. I actually loved it, especially through the summer. It was brilliant because you could open the door and have a real blow through. But I've moved it back up here because there's been a lot going on down there. So where are we with the channel? I would have liked to have got an awful lot more update videos, not update videos, actual videos. Like I keep saying, I've got loads in the bank, but I just haven't got there. We've been having the kitchen redone and all sorts going on. It's the run up to Christmas, 2 weeks away. We're hosting Christmas, so it's just a bit like that. However, I've been doing a lot in the background, so that's the good news, and content will be coming down the line. So just stay with me. So what have I done? I have got an Edward FW 190. So straight after Telford, crack the box, 190, ready to go. A bit different actually. I've used white tack to block everything off. I hope I don't pay for that when I take it out because it wasn't meant to be in. I would have had this finished in my mind, but I got to this point and I was about to get all the ROM colours. It's really tight, if I do say so myself. The build, it's very, very tight. I've rescribed everything all around, gone back and forth on all the panels, and there's not really a panel out of shape, out of alignment or anything like that. All the rivets are in, no seam lines come back. It's a beautiful kit anyway. Really beautiful kit. That's a spare canopy. It's going to be an open cockpit. Yeah. So wonderful kit. Great subject. Butcher bird 190. Everyone loves a 190. It's going to have a thingy. What's it on it? A what's name? A blueberry. What's it? I did because I wanted to. It's not the. It is. It's early new Edward decals, if you're into that whole debacle. So I've got the prop done. I got the spinner on. That was fine. Went on fine. Really good. So they've not got that like wide Rizzler paper carrier film. It's so it's easier to manipulate. So that's quite nice. So that's all done, and that's the good thing about these 190s is you can do it in sub-assemblies and then just bring it all together. You know, the prop now just goes on. You can chip that, weather it, and that's just a section to go on. Whereas often I know you can do that with any prop, but do you know what I mean? There's bits, it doesn't usually work like this does. Done the canopy, and similarly, that's the doobree. What's it? The drop tank. So I'm going to put the decals. I'm going to spray this up when I get the 76 going and get this weathered and finished as well, so it can just go on. Same with the undercarriage and everything else like that. So whilst doing that, I had a box of a 109 G10, which has been on the go for over a year. So I brought that up. So let's have a quick look at that one. So the G10 is now ready, and this is the Mitt-Rettenberg or whatever, something like that. Mitt-Rettenberg, I don't know, but it's basically the ones that look like a K4, and these are the sort of ones that, you know, no one can tell a K4 or a G10 or a G14 apart. It's starting to get like that from a distance. But yeah, so I was quite happy with that seal, that rubber seal there around the cowling. So that's stretched sprue gone in there. This has been a tale of a year's worth of problems. I had a nightmare of a fit around the cowling. I just cocked it up. I just thought it would go together like the 190s. I haven't actually built one of the late Gs. I've only built an F from Edward. And I just thought, oh, that'll be fine. You can just block it all together and it'll snap in almost. Well, no. The wings did. The fuselage did. But this front section, I actually found like I had quite a lot of trouble with it. And again, like, you know, then the scoop going in, or the air intake, or whatever it is, that didn't snap in, and then the lower portion didn't snap in. So everything needed a little bit of work. And I wasn't expecting that when I started it. So therefore, I was thinking 2 weeks and we'd be into paint. It wasn't quite like that. I've had to put a scoop on the windscreen there. For some reason, I use a forward-facing camera and it's not auto-focusing, so I can do this all I like. But I have to then do that. But that's not the end of the world. Right, you see that scoop? I think I'm going to have to take that off and sand it down a bit more, because it's meant to be blended in like these nose scoops, because I caught it in the sanding and then found one and cut it off, but I need to get a bit tighter on that. Could do with like 3D printed ones or something. But you can see the rescribing around the nose, see the rivets. It's always quite stark in primer. Any advice I would give anyone, for what it's worth, do not try and make it perfect in primer, because when it's in camouflage, honestly, it just blends away. If you've got a rivet line that isn't quite right, you won't notice it. It will go. So get as close as you can, and then, you know, if you're going back and forth, just get out of there. Just get in, get it done, get out. And you'll be fine. So they've come up. And the good news is, now when I want to get on with some painting, I can. But as the rain batters the window, I don't particularly want to open it and do painting at the minute, and so on it goes. Another slight little thing, this is our first winter here, and we're starting to realise quite a number of things. It's very windy, it's very wet. You can have a storm here, and I run a nursery about 20 minutes away, so I sort of rush in there thinking the tunnel's going to be all right. It's like nothing happened there. It's just, yeah, what wind. Whereas here it's been like things just blowing around the garden. You know, where's the bin gone? It's at the bottom of the garden. So starting to learn those little things. And again, I'm at the window where it seems to always blow in, because the sea is just about, I don't know, maybe even a mile just that way. So it's just like that. So, you know, that's fine. We can deal with that. There's worse things in the world. So, what have I been doing? Well, I've been getting old builds out of a drawer that are at the weathering stage, which I used to hate and I'm now beginning to love. And I've been trying some new techniques, and I'm really pleased with this. awful, awful colour. This is khaki G3, the sort of bronzy brown. I guess there's a green in there, but it's difficult to see. Right, there we go. So done a fair bit on this. You're not going to see much of it because this light is so like intense that it's just going to blast it all away. But we'll have a good run around on this and see what I think is worth discussing. So there's a lot of soil on the back there. So very different from me, this. Again, another bit of a breakthrough model. So there's a start of a story coming together, which from the armour, for me, which I'm trying to sort of encapsulate without being pretentious and making a big deal out of something. But I've got basically the Panzer I, the Char, and this is kind of like a story of me going from I got one here. Of going from this. Oh, move on over, Matilda. So going from this, which is really good, it's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's getting to a level and then going done. And what this has made me realise is when you get to the door, that you go, yep, okay, breach the door, I'm finished. That's right. If you open it, you go, whoa. Okay, there's like 15 other doors with all different paths, and you can go anywhere you like, and there's so much more you could do, which I just didn't think was there. I'm starting to see this now. When I look around, I look at models, and they're really good, and I think, oh, you could push that further. And something that's not helped, really not helped at all, and in fact, it's making it worse and worse, is my naivety to a certain chap. I knew who he was. This is my Bible. Love it. Obviously, it's very dated. Verlinden, Chet Payne, Tony Greenland. Okay? I still, to this day, do not understand how that is a Tamiya figure out of the box. I follow my simple steps. Right. Okay, of course. Yeah, okay, I'll just crack out the oils and paint a model like that. So with this, the gallery at the back here, right? Okay, this is about clean builds, I built the model and we're done. So let's have a look. Right, let's get to something that's actually sensible. Now that King Tiger is great. But it's not weathered, really, is it? It's not. It's fine. It's a lovely, lovely model. But you could go, right, that's ready for weathering. Or you could say, that's finished. There's nothing wrong with that. What I'm finding is my tastes are changing to the fact of where I'm finding, okay, what's next? That's what I'm starting to think. And my good friend, who's been helping out around the house, said, oh, drop these off for you. As if I think it's time you should have a look at this. I know who Wilder is. I've known who Wilder is. I thought, yeah, overweathers his models. I'm starting to find that he's the only one that satisfies my sort of need for weathering now. It's just bonkers how it changes. I mean, it wasn't probably a year ago I would have gone, oh, it's gone too far. That is what I'm starting to think. That's what you can do. That's what's there for you. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to keep these books. This one's still available, but of course, the one everyone wants, £100 on Amazon if you're lucky. But I'll keep an eye out for it now. And so I've been looking through this and just thinking, right, okay. Now, the modulation, not for me. I still can't get into that. Just it's not for me at all. And again, some of this... It's not like, get this book, and I haven't done any of this. This isn't how I've done what I've done on the Matilda that we'll have a look at in a minute. But what I'm saying is, that is how it would look. And if you look at a lot of models, they won't have that. You see, because it's too much almost, and it can be. You got to do it right. That's what I've been learning. There's There's like 10 ways you can get it wrong. But if you know what you're looking for and know what you're after, then when you get to that, it looks okay. And then you can sort of refine it from that. And this is what the story really is of the Panzer I Char Matilda. So I'm talking about this because one of the main reasons that a lot of people came to this channel is because I did a beginner's series for armour modelling. So now I'm starting to, because that basically is, you could seal that off and say, you know, follow that and you'll get to a certain level and it's fine. And I've done a few little ones. I chucked the Sherman in last year, so it's kind of like a modern version of doing the same thing. And now I'm starting to learn, you know, there's a lot of people who'd be very happy with that, me included. I am very happy. It's a unique vehicle. I love it. It's come out of the loft because it's going to get the next level added to it. It's going to add, you know, there's like 10 more layers that can go on it. You know, that dust, whereas before I would have thought, cool, you can't add any more than that. You know, I'm now looking at it and I'm thinking, well, that's the base layer. And this over weathering and all of this idea, it's, if you look at the photos, you'll see I've got photos and photos and photos. Panzer I in Barbarossa, and there's nothing dark on it. It's just dust. You read accounts from guys in the tanks as they're going through Barbarossa, and they're talking about these clouds of sticky dust that just sticks to everything. It's wipe it off, and it's on your hand. It's like, you know, you go like that and make a handprint. And that's what I'm trying to depict. So this Matilda, you can't see a lot there, like I said. But what I'll do is do a video like I did with the Panzer I and a few others, and sort of go around it and try and point out the areas. I need another session on this to finish it. There's a couple areas that I can see and that have been pointed out to me that I could do a little bit better on. And then it's done. It needs a figure and a base, and it will get that. It will probably get the figure. I might try, I was going to leave it, I might try and do the figure for the video so it completes it, and then the base will be whenever I want to take it somewhere. If I want to take it to a show, then I'll knock a base up, because otherwise I'd spend the next 6 weeks grinding myself out on a figure and a base, and I lose that energy, that drive that I'm getting to think about, okay, now let's bring this Lancia up. Like, that's exciting, you know. I'll do a couple things on it, I think, leave that to dry, and then the next session, as I'm starting to come up here, I'll be sort of running up the stairs to get in here, to do the next bit, to see what can we do, what's the next level. So I am filming all of this. I don't know how to parcel it up because I've got an hour's worth of footage on the char, and the char, after we've gone through it and had a look at it, is 50% done. So I'm thinking, right, well, now you don't want a 2-hour video. So what I think I'll do is look through the char and the Matilda, where I've got lots of interesting sort of zoomed in techniques of how I've done certain things, and maybe release them as like little videos of how to do the dust layers and how to add interest to a flat panel and that sort of thing. So I think that could be of interest, and then that will be bolted on to the back of the like beginner's guide to armour modelling. Probably keep it in the playlist, and it'll be sort of, you know, the intermediate and next level. Let's try and push on a bit further and see what we can do. Not saying that I'm particularly good at anything, but I'm liking the result, so I want to bring that to you and push it forward. Now, I particularly picked the Matilda because it was a bad colour, because I've been doing German grey and dust, which goes together, and then I thought, well, I could do Soviet green, and I thought, well, that's another easy one, really. It's not going to be difficult. I mean, that khaki brown is awful. Once I'd done the dust layers in the initial darker mud, it was a brown tank that had brown washes and looked brown. Another thing I've got, so I've got a lot of these. Well, I haven't got a lot. I've got a few in the drawer. I've got this. Now, this got to this stage kind of by accident. I mean, I bought this kit because I thought it was German grey, snow, Kharkov, nice Stug with Ostketten, Winterketten, and I thought that would be great. And then I find out it's basically in Troppin 2, which I've done, and it's on Frozen Steppe. So I I don't know what to do with this. And this is the sort of thing that excites me now, because I think, right, well, what the hell, what did this look like? Did any get out of Kharkov? Did they get into the spring, summer? Did they start to get the dust? Or should I start doing frozen effects? I think, oh. So I'm getting quite excited about that. And again, I'm filming it all. So from the armour point of view, it's all going to be, very good stuff. And what I've got out is the Otto Carius Tiger, which is the Takom Tiger. And what I think I'm going to do, for similar reasons, is switch this, because this is basically a mid. It's a mid with a couple of unusual features. It's got late thingamywhatsits and a couple other things, but basically it's a mid on the Eastern Front. It's pretty much out of the box. But what I think I'm going to do, because Otto's, it was repainted, so where that Zimmerit's chipped off there and there, it was painted over. But then I thought, right, what, you could almost do anything with this. So hand paint the crosses, pick a serial number, just whatever. Don't worry about photos, don't worry about what it actually looked like, and have some fun. So I've got a long list just to get to the weathering stage. It's painting in the tracks, painting the wheels, rubber, painting all the tools on the top and the cables that are all on. Spraying in matte black in and around those exhausts. All to get it to the point of thinking, do I give it a pin wash? Now, this is the other thing. On the Matilda, I did the dust layers. It didn't have a pin wash. It didn't need a pin wash. So this is another thing I'm learning. You'll get like, I painted the model, and then I put the decals on, then I glossed, then I varnished, then I put this on, then I put a varnish on, then I painted the tools, then I did a pin wash, then I did a filter, then I did... And you think, well... You might not need all of that, is all I'm saying. That's kind of how I'm going into it, naively just thinking, right, what do I need? There's another thing. Up there's about 50 pre-mixed enamel washes. On the Matilda, I used 2 that were basically, I used them for the pigments. It was Dry Step. And then I used 3 oil paints. And I thought, what... we all fall for it. I'm as guilty as the next person, more so probably. This is like pay to win. Buy this ready mix wash, do it like this, and it will look like this. And for me, that's not really the way, and that's the way I used to say about. So that's what I'm sort of unpacking here. So I'm using these drawer kits and these restoring kits to hone the skills, get things back to normal, and then it's right. Let's do a build and see where we get. So I'm enjoying my little renaissance with armor building. It's kind of why the videos have dried up a little bit, because I'm enjoying it, and I got to lean into that. I haven't enjoyed it for a while. Modelling. It's been a little bit of a... It's not like I haven't enjoyed it, but I haven't been creative. And what I've got now is I've got the room. It doesn't matter, everyone can be asleep and I can still be in here with a hairdryer on. I've not had that before. I used to be behind the door and I couldn't open the door and have to be quiet, which is great. That's life, it's family life, is brilliant. But now I've got space to kind of breathe, I guess. And with that, I'm finding more creativity, which is getting better results. And all of that is what I'd like to bring to you. Another exciting thing. The 8-wheeled, 2 broken off, that's fine. The 8-wheeled Panzer III from Mini Art, which has 2 broken wheels. Oh God, 2 broken wheels. The plastic, it's not a big thing. I barely tap them then. The plastic's a bit brittle. Now this, I'm glad I've got this. But boy, oh boy, you someone like me who likes early war vehicles, you think the fact that Mini Art have made the Panzer III the B, C, and D. I've got the A by Bronco. Makes you think, right, yeah, buy one of each of them. Well, I think you build one, and you get in and you get out. It's blooming hard work. and I found that the plastic's a little bit brittle. So that's fine. That break there with these, that's a drill and pin, stronger than it was and probably more actually level. The tracks are a nightmare as well. Thankfully, I had the furrows, and they're actually the early ones, the right ones. So that's good. So what I've got there is this is a bit of a restore. So it's wrong for a start. It's not the right German grey. It's close enough, but it's meant to have brown. So I'm going to keep the lower portions as they are. Then I'm going to redo the top. So probably just to put a very thin coat of primer over the top. The German grey I like to use, put in the brown. And then I've got a really unique Poland vehicle there, which is part of the war. I love the early stuff. And all I've got to do is finish off the turret. It needs these lifting hooks, which I've got. So I'm just going to stick them on, reprime, and then that's a really unusual vehicle back in the game. It's fine. White crosses, no insignia, simple. So that's the sort of thing. I got this. Do you see the excitement coming through a little bit now? This is something I did before I started the channel, and then I put it up just to show. This is the Italieri. I could talk about BT5s. Honestly, how have we got to where we are without any BT5s? But anyway, so this has got a number of problems. It didn't go red, yellow, purple for Republican. It was either red, yellow, red for captured. This is Spanish Civil War, or it was green. They never put the purple on, but you'll see it some places. So this is the Italieri's Vesta kit with photo etch from ABBA and scratch built front fenders. Back in the day when I didn't know you couldn't, so I just did. Wheels taken off. Tracks taken off to show it in that formation where it can run. There's basically, they put a chain. What I can't tell is whether the chain was internal. I think it's different. So I think BT2s or early Christie's just had a chain chucked between the final drive and the back wheel. But I think here it's in that housing on the later BTs. I think this housing has a chain in it. So if you can engage it in the gearbox, it then takes the power from this and puts it to this, and then you can run on the wheels. And then you unlock these, and they've got a turning mechanism, and then you can drive it on a road without the tracks to save the tracks. So the problems we've got is these are BT7 tracks. They're the wrong tracks. I knew that. I didn't want to buy Thralls. Well, Thralls don't make them. Master Club are the only ones that make them, and I have got a set of Master Club tracks. We'll just pretend it's okay. So what I'm going to do is whip the turret off. Old Verlinden figure as well. Look at that. Love it. So I'm going to whip the turret off. Just give this a bit of a once over to clean it, and then again probably repaint the green and do this as a Republican one, and then later on I'm gonna redo this properly because this isn't massively accurate. It's close enough from a distance for people who don't know, but yeah. So really excited about that because that's another model that you're just not going to see. Because you can't buy an accurate BT5. Only the old Italieri's Vesta kit, but you can get to one easily with a couple of kits, and I'm going to bring that at a later date. So yeah, as you can see, the excitement is here, and I'm going to try and get that into videos over the Christmas period to get that out to you. The other thing to mention, obviously, is the podcast that was released. There's a new one coming this month. It's going to be monthly. I've got a few in the bag. I've got a couple written that I need to record, and then I'm out in the wind. So I need to get myself sorted on that, but I've got plenty of time. I'm about 4 or 5 months ahead of myself, and I've got some ideas coming forward where I might try and get people on as well, or like interviews or laid back chats sort of thing. So hope you're all enjoying that, and if you didn't know, I'll leave a link down below that I have got a podcast that goes out here on YouTube, on Apple, on Spotify, and pretty much anywhere else. I think you can stream it directly as well. Really happy with the views and the numbers on that. I think that's pretty good. I think the YouTube video's got over 1,000 views. So I'll take that as 1,000 listens. Who knows? Maybe. I got comments from you guys listening to it on your commute and things like that, which is exactly what I thought it would be useful for. So that's interesting. That's great. Had a little shout out from On the Bench, which was good. So yeah, long may it continue. So I'm branching out into that just to give a little bit of extra media exposure from the point of view of the channel. I've got a lot planned coming down the line, but I've taken the pressure off myself a little bit to enjoy it. Doesn't mean we're going to miss videos. The only reason I haven't put a video up is I've been looking at the numbers and they're actually fine. So I thought, well, I won't rush a video. Let's wait until we've got something that's actually of interest. I won't just chuck a review up for the sake of it. So I'm keeping an eye on it all, but doing it the right way as well. I'm making sure that when you see something, it's actually worth watching rather than not. So there we go. A little bit of a change in the mentality, the psychology behind where I'm going with the weathering, but that doesn't mean it should alienate anyone. We've still got room for beginner builds. Still showing you simple techniques. Techniques you can take as far as you want. You can stop halfway or you can keep going. It's up to you. You don't have to do anything the way it's said. This is the point I'd like to put across. You know, if you're looking at weathering and you think you've got far enough, that's absolutely fine. It's no problem. For me, I'm finding that I want to go a little bit further. I'm actually enjoying the fact of pushing it too far. You know, I'm trying to over-weather a tank and I'm not getting there yet. So there we are. Let me know your thoughts down below on any of that information. Let me know if you have enjoyed the podcast. I'm going to pick a date this month. Episode 3 is going to go up. We'll see how we go on that. It's a little, I think it's hard work, personally, but you tell me. It's the first deep dive into a historical vehicle. And I feel like I got a bit bogged down. I tried to make it as enjoyable a listen as possible, but you might find that you switch off after 20 minutes. And that's great. That's not a problem. Just let me know, because it's a learned experience from my point of view as well. I need to know these things. But you'll be pleased to know that episode 4 will bounce right back to scale modelling. Episode 5 will be interesting, but it's a historical deep dive into a period. And then episode 6 and 7 are right back into scale modelling. And then I'm in the weeds a bit then. I don't know what I'm doing after that, but that's fine. That's like May, so we don't need to worry about that. There we are. Waffle, waffle, waffle. For those who say you want more, you've had more. And I'm going to get out of here. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next video.